Hi, I'm Patricia, and welcome to my creative space. Today we are going to make these adorable fall coasters, and a little bit more. I have like 3 tutorials in one for you today, and I'm using a cutter here by Joy Creations for the coaster shapes. And for these amazing images, I am using these beautiful transfer sheets from Love and Light Gallery by Misty Peterson. These are absolutely gorgeous, and they're so easy to use. All you have to do is follow these great instructions that she gives. It's a nice little list. So here's some that I've already done. Some fall leaves. I absolutely love these. So adorable. And I did this on ecru. I did this little fox here with the leaves on pearl, and I am using Primo for all these, and this one was done on basic white. I love those little mushrooms. So adorable. Absolutely adorable. And you can see in the light the resin I used. No matter how much I hit it with the lighter, I still have bubbles that pop. And also here's some earrings that I started with her little decals also, and I will show you how I managed to do these with the coloring on them and everything like I did. I'm gonna also do a necklace pendant to show you a little bit more what you can do with these. So let's get started. So here I'm going to do my next one here, also on ecru. So I've got it rolled out on a setting 0 on my Atlas pasta machine. Pardon me. Making sure that I don't have any bubbles here. And even though I made sure, I ended up getting one anyways, but it don't affect it too bad. There's a small bubble. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my paper and burnish it down just a little bit. That's good enough. So I'm going to go through my instructions here and double check, make sure what I need to do next. I'm going to size up the image that I'm going to use with the cutter, and then I'm going to use it kind of as a template to cut around it. Okay, there we go. That looks good. Now I'll take this and I will turn it over, put it down on my clay, rub it in there pretty good. I'm going to take that paper and I'm going to burnish it in there really good, making sure that it's good and on there. Okay, now I'm going to take my blade here and I'm going to cut around the image. This makes it a little bit more easier, cutting it down to around the image, I find. Okay, there, that's done. Just cleaning it up here. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. You want that to set on there. And while that's setting, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to start a new one here. I also got these beautiful flowers from Joy, and I'm going to show you how to do an inlay imprint into one of your coasters. I thought this would be really cool, so that's what I'm doing here. Like I said, 3 tutorials in one. Just pushing that in there really good. I probably should have used baby powders or cornstarch or something here to cornstarch, not baby powder. That way it didn't stick so good, but I got it. Didn't mess it up too bad. Now I'm going to take and cut out the shape of the coaster, trying to get it in there centered. I didn't get it as centered as I thought I did though, so you want to really double check that you are centered in on that. But yeah, I thought this would be another neat tutorial to add, and so since I'm doing coasters, I thought I would add this in here for you too, because I think it's pretty cool. So just rocking it here to make sure that the edges are smooth as possible. You can see I was a little off on my centering there. So now we're back to this. It's been on there for 10 minutes. I've got some warm water here in my water bottle, and I'm just going to squirt this with the water. And that paper is going to gel up, and you'll be able to see it when it's ready. Just let that set on there. Take your time with it, like she says. You're going to see it puff up. You can see it wasn't quite ready, so I'm just hitting it with some more water. You see it puffed up right away when I hit it with that, just that little bit of extra water. Like I said, I'm using warm water in my spray bottle, so it seems to make it a little bit faster. I was just using room temperature water, but the warm water seems to make it a whole lot faster. So I'm going to hit it some more because I can still see some of that on there. Then I'm going to get it as smooth as possible before baking it. You can work on it after you've baked it. Any leftover paper that's on there, you can hit it with some water and rub it off. But I want to make sure that I get most of it off. Just pat it dry. Now I got that in the oven, and if you notice, I made a mistake, and I'll point that out here in a little bit. Don't forget the mistake. But here we are working on this one, and I'm just using some perfect pearls on it, painting it with perfect pearl powders. And I've sped this up so it's not too boring for you. Trying to get in all those little nooks and crannies in there. But I love this one. It's beautiful. My cousin will probably want to steal this from me. She loves sunflowers. I believe I did the center with copper. I do believe. I'm doing this with a yellow, not a gold. And then this one is red. I'm going to hit this here real quick. I just want to see what it's going to look like real quick. So that's why I've switched already. So I've got my red, and I'm kind of just rubbing it in there and going up to the top a little bit so I can get that shade and get that nice orange. So I really love it. Gotta finish up my yellow. I'm not too worried about making a mess on the outside edge because I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these new sprays I found. They're awesome. Got them for my paperwork that I do. But I thought I had to try them on polymer clay. Of course I did. Absolutely I had to try them on polymer clay. And they're beautiful. I'll explain more later when I get them out. Here we're almost done with the yellow. Last one. Now I'll go back into my red and start blending that in. I absolutely love this red and yellow together. Makes such a pretty orange. Like I said, don't worry about anything that's going over because I'm going to use these sprays I found that's going to really help it pop. So I've got the cutter and I put it over the flower because I don't want these sprays to get on it. It's Distressed Mica Stain sprays, and oh my god, they're gorgeous. So these are the two I'm using. Harvest Moon, I can't remember what the red one said. So you got to shake them up really, really, really good because it settles at the bottom, and then just spray. And they are water-based, so again, you'll want to make sure that you're using Primo because you know how the other clays don't take to water too well. So make sure you're using Primo clay for this. So I'm just spraying, trying to get a mix and make it some orange pop in there. I'm just going to clean the edges up here with some paper towel. And don't worry, this all will rinse off really easy because, like I said, it's real easy cleanup. So you can see where I missed some around the flower, so I'm just going to take and dab that into one of the petals and kind of work that in around the edges. Being careful not to lift up too much. I want to get some of that in those cracks there, in between the flower petals. You can see too, as you blot it more, that mica shows. Oh my god, it's absolutely gorgeous. I wish you could see it in person because it's even better in person. It's beautiful on paper, but it's also beautiful on the polymer clay. And I will put the link in the description below where I bought these at. Okay, here we are back to the pumpkins. Can you see what I did there? This is out of the oven. I'm going to pop it off of here. And I'm going to get my necklace ready real quick. My pendant, not necklace, but the pendant ready. I found me one I want to use. It's going to be so cute. I'm keeping this one, by the way. So I got me some pearl clay here. Making sure that I have no bubbles. Just sizing everything up again. Got me a cutter to cut a circle, so I pretty much know where I'm putting it and where it's going to fit and all that good stuff. Okay, so I got that cut out and I want to lay that on here. I'll rub it a little bit. I'll get out my paper and burnish that in. Okay, so I did the same things that I did with everything else. Let it set for 10 minutes. While it's setting, I'm going to work on the coaster. Cut out my background. This is what I'm putting, or my backing. This is what I'm putting on the back. I've got my little sponge there to texture it. But can you tell what I did yet with this? It'll show here in just a minute if you didn't see what I did. So I got just a little bit of the paper still on there, so I'm just going to get it wet and rub that off. Dry it up with my paper towel. Now I feel that bubble that I missed. It's just a little one, but it's okay. So I'll move that out of the way. And I'm going to get out my sticky yeah, my Kato poly paste here, and I'm just gonna rub some on the back. And it's big. I just end up using my finger because it's big. Trying to get it on the edges here. And then I'll go in with my finger. It's like, yeah, that's just a lot of room to do with that little brush. So I just go at it with my finger. And now you'll see the mistake I made. Yes, absolutely. I forgot to cut it out. So now I have to fix my mistake. So I'm going to use the cutter. And I'm going to use my blade. And this blade is from Tiny Pandora's shop. So it's a good buy. It makes cutting through this baked clay pretty easy. So I just keep sizing it up with it and cutting where I need to fix my boo-boo. So yeah, a few mistakes in here. I'll show you how to fix them. Got that one crooked. I fixed that. There we go. It's still not perfect, but it's better, and as I smush out my clay when I do the texturing on it, it's going to smush over the edges anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, you can see where it rubbed on the table where I had that bump in it. I kind of lost a little bit of the color of the pumpkin, but it's okay. I'm using ecru, so you really can't tell it's a flaw in it, so that's good. Now I'm just pulling the edges over the front edge. I kind of sped it up because who wants to watch that in real time? But I'm just pulling it and then retexturing where I pulled it from. So I just take my finger and pull it over. Taking my finger and pulling it over. It is gunking up a little bit of the edge, but we'll fix that later. No big deal. And like I said, going back over it with the texture sponge here. Smooth it out. Texture it again. Okay, now we're back to the necklace. Sorry, it's a bunch of jumping back and forth, but this is, you know, how I work when I work on many items at once. So it's been 10 minutes or over, actually. So I'm hitting it with the water. You can see it puffed up right away on this one. I don't know if it's because I left it on there longer than 10 minutes or what. But yeah, it started coming right off. So I just wipe my finger over it, and it comes right off. Now I do make a little mistake with this one too, and I don't recommend it. I accidentally hit it with alcohol here instead of my water. And I'm like, oh, it's starting to color come off. So I go ahead and hit it with my water real quick, trying to get that alcohol off of there. You can see I hit it with a bunch of water. And kind of go over it. I don't want to rub it too much just in case the alcohol is still on there. So I'm just going to pat it dry here. Okay, I got a little ledge here from where the paper was, so I'm just going to take some more paper And I'm just going to burnish that so I can get rid of that line. It don't take much. I'm going to size it up here with my cutter that I'm using. Looks good. I'll push down on that. Kind of wiggle it in a little bit. Try to make sure I get them lines smoothed out as best I can. There we go. Peel that away. Grab my X-Acto knife here and pull out the center. Okay, and here I'm going to use my Mica stain sprays again.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to actually spray it on my tile this time. Take a paintbrush and just kind of dab it on there. And because it's a straight edge paintbrush, I'm just getting these little lines with these little dots. Kind of cool. So I'm doing it in the same colors, the red and the yellow. And I'll get some mixes of orange in there as I'm doing it. Zoom in there so you can see it. Here you can see how that yellow is mixing. Making some orange dots going on in there. Wipe that up with a paper towel. Now I'm just going to kind of dab it. I think that looks really cool. It looks nice. I'll zoom in for you so you can see a little bit better. I love that look. Very nice. So that's in the oven for a half hour. Now on this one you can see how I've done it right, and I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I'm just scraping off that edge that the cutter left behind. No big deal. All cutters leave a little bit of an edge, so it don't bother me. Easy cleanup. Okay, and I've done that one the same. I textured the back and now I'm just pulling it over the edge. The reason I'm showing this one is I'm a little more, a little bit more in view of the camera here. So you can see I'm just pulling it over the edge. And like I said, it gets a little messy on the edge, but we're going to clean that up later. So I just wanted to give you a better look at how I pulled it over the edge, because the other one didn't really show it very well. So I'll finish that up and then we'll start working on the pendant. Okay, so here we are with the pendant, and the reason I'm showing you this is because it's got the little hole in it. I'm showing you how I'm just taking my finger and just pulling it through that hole at a downward angle, so I can get that beveled back on the back of it. So I'm a little bit out of frame here, but I'm just sticking my finger in and pulling it out. Now I'm just finger in there, smoothing it out. A little bit more texture back on there. And then just the same as with the other ones, I'm just going to take and pull it over that edge. It's pretty much the same on a round one as it is the other ones. And just take and pull it over, then smooth it out, then hit it with the sponge again. So that's all I'm going to do here until it's done. Pretty much the same as the others. And here I'm done with my first one under the UV light. I hit it with the UV resin and paintbrush, did a thin layer so it wouldn't warp it as bad. And here I'm putting on my second layer which I will make thicker. Sorry I didn't get the paintbrush method in there. I forgot to hit record. Now I'm just hitting it with the resin again and flowing it on there over to the edge. Careful not to go over the edge because that gets a little messy. Trying to make sure I get all the bubbles as I go along, but like I said, with this stuff, no matter how many times you pop the bubbles, you end up with bubble marks as it cures under the light. I'm telling you, I hit it with the lighter a bunch of times and I still end up with bubble pops in it as it cures. So that's going into the light. That's it back out of the light. So that one is done. And you can see how it turned out. You can see I still got little bubble pops in there. That's why it's a okay resin, but for some reason it does that. This I put on way too much. I figured I'd need a lot more doing the paintbrush method because of the dips and valleys in it. And you can see here I start taking it and scraping it back into the bottle as I'm brushing it on. So yeah, if you get too much, just use a brush or whatever you have and just put it back in your bottle. Alright, so that's done. Hit it with the lighter, go under the light. Now I'm going to do this one here with my Lisa Pavelka's Magic Gloss. Clean off my brush in alcohol. Okay. I decided my thing here needs filled up, so I popped my lid off and I'm just filling it up with my bigger bottle. Clean that off. Clean out my lid. Alright, now I decided to get out my nail UV light, and for some reason it just don't work too good for this. But I thought I would try to get more done quicker by double doing it, but it didn't work. But it did work on the other gel, which I'll show you here in a little bit. So I'm just doing the edges first. Getting it pulled all the way to the edge. And I just love Lisa Pavelka Magic Gloss. It just comes out with a glassy, smooth finish. I absolutely love this stuff. I wish I started using it years ago. And there we go. We'll go into the light, turn it on. Here comes my sunflower, ready to add the second layer. So I'm using my little silicone brush here, and you can see that it's too close to the light and I'm getting clumps, and I'm like, oh no, what in the world? So I shut off my nail light and I'm trying to get all these clumps out of here. Yeah, this was fun, let me tell you. Not, so I put more on there, hit it with a lighter, and just start working it. What else can I do, right? I did not expect the UV light to hit it do think it went over the edge a little bit on here somewhere. On one of these spots here. Might have been this one, I don't. Yeah, it was this one. There it was. So I just kind of keep wiping it off the edge. So to keep it from really running, I'm going to pop it under the nail light for a minute here. That way I set it up real good, and then I'll put it under my regular UV light. Trying to clean up my mess here. Okay, under the light. So here's where we clean up the edges. I'm just taking a nail file. You can use sandpaper, whatever you have. I'm just using a nail file and cleaning up the edges. And they come out pretty nice. Just getting that black off of there. I think most of us have nail files on hand, so that's what I'm using. Something most of us have on hand. Easy to use. Makes it go quick. And it comes out pretty nice. And here you can see how nice the edges look now. Beautiful. Okay, so that's out of the light. Now finish it off. I like to hit it with a lighter before I start. Makes it a little bit easier to spread when it's warmer, I think. So I'm just pulling that over the edges. Okay, just about done with that. Now I'll pop that back under the UV light for like 20 minutes or so. And this one that got all messy, I've taken it off there and I'm cleaning the part that didn't get hit with the light. I'm cleaning it with alcohol so it cleans up off the back and the sides. I'm not too worried about it because I'm hitting it with the nail file anyway. So I'll just do to it what I did to the others. Going through it with the nail file, sanding all that black and yuck off of there. Okay, and there's what that one looks like, all done. So this one is done now. Beautiful finish, absolutely gorgeous with the Lisa Pavelka Magic Gloss. You can see it's just a nice, smooth, glass-like finish. Look how beautiful that is. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'm in love with it. I'm keeping it. It's totally mine. You can see the nice texture on the back. And here's those earrings. I'm going to finish them off here. I'm going to add the holes in them. And I got my little tiny Dremel here. It's got variable speeds on it. It's great. I love it. It's lightweight. It's got up to 5 speeds. That's like real slow and fast. But I like using it on the slow speed to get started. As long as I remember to do that, put it on the low speed before I start, we're good. So here I'm just using the pinch bails for the earrings. Just use my round nose pliers and to pry them open. It's just easier that way. I'm trying to use my fingers. Sorry, I'm out of view here. Trying to make sure I got it in there. There's one. I'll work on the other one. Putting the hole in it. There we go. Go back to the back side. Make sure it's good and evened out. Try to make it a little bit bigger. That's why I go through it a few times. I'll open this one up. Put it in one side. Maybe need to open it up a little bit more. Here we go. Now put it in the one side and close it in the other. There we go. Okay, now into the necklace. I've got like, I believe it was 22 inches of cord I cut. So just wrap that through. I believe it was 22 inches. This is what I used. Now I'm trying to even it all up here. And I just got me some crimp ends out to use because I don't have anything else in this color except these. So I'll show you how I do them. I'll try to do the one side first. Get it down on there, and then I like to take my crimp tool and I use it to just kind of fold it over just a little bit, and it helps me better get a hold of it with my pliers and get that down over it. So I have a little bit of trouble with this when it keeps popping out of my hand. Show you I'm not perfect. But we know this. Nobody's perfect. So yeah, it takes me a while. You see it goes flying. Just did not want to work out for me. My hands didn't want to work today for some reason. I just kept having trouble with this one. It just kept flying everywhere. So yeah, nah, some days are just like that, aren't they? So here we go, one more time. Try it again. Trying to hold that sucker in there while I go at it with my pliers. It just does not want to work out for me. I'm like, ugh, what a day. There we go, I got that sucker. So I take my crimp tool, fold that over a little bit, and then go at it with my pliers, and voila. Finally, got that sucker done. Okay, now I'll finish off the necklace here. Got my 6mm jump ring. Put that on there. Twist to close it up. Sorry I'm out of view. So I'll take my 4mm jump ring. I'll open it up. Add the claw clasp. And then we'll add that side. Take my pliers, twist, and close it up. There we go. And that's all done. And there she is. She's a beauty, and she's mine. So here I'll just put the ear wires on. Okay, so I got myself a jump ring here. I believe I'm using the 6mm jump ring here. Pretty sure it is. So it would fit in the pinch bail. So I just open it up, put it through, close it up. And there's the ear wire on there. Making sure it's setting right for me. There's one, and then I'll do the other. Same thing. Take my jump ring, open it up. Sorry I'm not in the view. Put it through there on the pinch bail. And then I will add my ear wire after I make sure it's closed, because it looked like it was a little bit open to me, so I closed it up. Making sure I'm putting it on the right way. Don't want to put it on backwards. And there we go. So that's done. Pretty earrings. And here they all are. Everything I made. The necklace, the earrings, the coasters. Absolutely beautiful. And I still have so much stuff left that she gave me. I mean, it's amazing how much you can get out of these. And there is, if you hit the link in the description below, it will take you to a coupon for 20% off. There's also a link on Joyce cutters, rollers, and imprint cutters. 20% off, I do believe. I will have the links in the description box below. Make sure you use them for your discounts. So if this tutorial was helpful to you in any way, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a great day. Don't forget to ring that bell.